Are there racist people? Absolutely. We do not live in this racism that people think we do, because we have capitalized on every opportunity that every white person has. Whether you want to talk about in the home, whether you want to talk about in business, or whether you want to talk about the White House, we're in every single opportunity that a white person has. Everyone was made in his image. This is why I say the change is always with Christ. It's not more policies. It's not another black person or white person creating something to infiltrate it. It has to go beyond this world. There comes a point as a leader, and really hear this, bro, where I can no longer help you because I don't gave you everything that I can give. If I keep trying to save those who don't want to come, I'm going to die. And I'm not about to die for nobody who don't want to live.
Welcome to Ride the Wave, hosted by me, Jeff Fischer, and co-hosted by Mark Robinson, in partnership with the Ride the Wave Foundation. Visit us at ridethewave.org, where we're dedicated to empowering their lives through free resources in servant leadership, mental health wellness, and how to find a purpose. At Ride the Wave, we believe in the power of every story, talent, and voice. Our commitment is clear: to bridge divides, unite communities, and build an all-inclusive, modern campus for those experiencing homelessness. So let's dive in and ride the wave of positive change together. Hey everybody, thank you so much for hopping on board again and joining us at Ride the Wave podcast. For those of you that follow Wave Stories, just want to give a quick update. Heather got a job, guys, and the principles of Wavemaker, they do work and they're being proven. It's really amazing. Check out, again, our website. Buy the book, Wavemaker. It's real. It's already starting to spark a little bit of things within the community. Go to Facebook too, Wave Stories. We're following the journey of Heather and Jose from beginning to end until they're out of homelessness, which they will be. So really appreciate, like I said, everybody joining us today. And of course, to my right, the man, the myth, the legend. Am I right? Mark.
Jeff.
How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, everybody?
So this episode is brought to you by 100% Chiropractic in Rockaway, New Jersey. Their positive culture and personalized care make every visit feel like a step toward true healing. If you're looking for true correction, visit Dr. Sarah and Dr. Matt today. No introduction is necessary. Jayvon, what's up? How are you, man?
What's up, brothers? How y'all doing?
Good.
Jayvon, welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
Let's get into it.
So we're going to get into something, could be a hot topic, but that's okay because we're all friends here and connected in the spirit. It's race, black and white, and racism in America. All right? Jayvon, how has your personal experience shaped the way you view racial identity in America today?
First it would go back, growing up, starting off in urban context, Newark, New Jersey. Then after that, my mother moved to Roselle, Linden, back to Newark. So basically I've been all over, which I would say, which is a blessing, because I didn't just stay in a black neighborhood, right? I got to see from Essex County to Union County. It was a shift in, okay, there's more. You got Indians, right? You got Spanish, you got white. Now it's a mixture and it's not just your people. And then from that, my grandfather, I'm just fast forwarding my whole life. My grandfather got a house down in Howell, which is like Central Jersey, so Freehold area.
Yeah.
Actually closer to the shore. So when that happened, now I went from seeing my people in different cultures to now being the only black person in the class full of white people, right? And then that led me to see the difference between suburban versus rural areas, right? That suburban white kids is not the same as rural white kids that grew up in the woods and stuff.
Yeah, what was your experience in Newark? What was the type of things that you were dealing with? How was it day to day? Like, what was your experience as a black man in Newark?
You're talking about everybody's, I won't say everybody's thinking the same, but everybody understands that this is who we are, this is where we are, and that there are other people out there that are quote unquote enemies, right? And we're just functioning in this. So you have crime, you have a lot of sexual desire that's wild because a party's happening all the time. Like all that stuff plays into your mindset of how you are supposed to mature in an urban like an urban environment. So I remember like literally being in there, and this was around the time where, you know, they was just stealing cars like crazy, you know, doing donuts in the middle of the street.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. So that was really, that was when I was a small dude, and hearing that, seeing that, breaking in my mother's car. So the whole nine, you know?
Yeah.
So just growing up in that, the difference is when you walk outside, there's crack vials on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Versus Timmy, who walks out another town that's not the hood or anything, and he just sees another neighbor, people jogging. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And Mark, you grew up in Newark, so Jayvon and Mark grew up in the same area. I don't know whether the streets are that much different there, but Newark, New Jersey, and I'm white. If anyone's just listening, I'm a white male. Jeff, I grew up in Morris Plains, New Jersey, suburban. I had a very protected, good life, rode my bike around, and I can't complain. A lot of my things were a little bit self. And then, you know, Mark, obviously I met Jayvon. So just to give people perspective on like where we're at here. But Mark, the question is like, how was your experience? Because I'm curious if it does tie into similarities with Jayvon.
Well, my growing up, I was raised in Newark. I lived in Newark for, I would say 18 years till I left my mom's. But
What was your experience like?
Yeah, he was there for a minute.
it was an experience. It was definitely an experience.
Yeah.
Growing up in the streets of Newark, me personally, I grew up in the streets of Newark, but I wasn't in the streets of Newark, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You didn't run with the particular crowd, but yet you were involved because they were around. I mean, when you're in the neighborhood, those are the people that are around you. You have to assimilate with them. So anybody that ever says to, oh, you know, the gangs are like, it's so easy to say that when you're not born there and you're not from there. And when you're surrounded and have so many various influences, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, clearly I didn't grow up that way, but you are a product in a sense of your environment. Yeah. So it's very judgmental and short thinking in my mind when people say something like that. But
yeah. And there was a lot of that, you know, it was a lot of gangs and a lot of fights and, you know, drinking and drugs and all that. You know, Prince Street projects in Newark, if anybody know about, you know, Prince Street projects and Little Bricks and Brick City, as they call it in Newark, where, you know, Redman is from, you know, Little Brick City. You know,
see, which is where, so like he mentioned Little Bricks. I lived right around the Pilgrim. So like I was right around the corner from Little Bricks.
So it was a tough area.
No, it was shootings every night.
Wow.
Like every night.
So you would hear the gunshots?
Literally, like that's how we went to sleep.
Did it become standard? Was it normal to hear it? I mean, obviously you hear it every night, but like, was it not scary?
When you grow up, of course you're gonna be shocked, but if it's like hearing birds.
Really? What kind of weapons? Like automatic?
Everything. You get anything in the hood. Because that's crime.
And the gangs are just full out war.
Depending on the set. So like you have your gangs, right? Like Bloods and Crip. Like everybody think, oh, well, you know, it's Blood, it's Crip. They're like automatically enemies in a sense. But it's really like come from disrespect. Like you have like Bloods and Crips that's cool with each other, but then you got different sets of Bloods and Crips that's not cool with each other.
Okay.
Or different Bloods beefing with different Bloods. It's chaos.
It sounds like just the pot is all just everywhere, where it's all a mixed bag. Yeah, that's
survival.
Right. But see, the thing is, nowadays, people take the gang mentality, adapted it as something else from the original, what it was actually supposed to represent.
What was it originally supposed to represent?
It was supposed to represent people, some somewhat leaders in the community to protect the community.
So it started off as a good thing,
right?
To protect people and
to protect
form
women and children and community, to protect the community itself, the people in the community, protecting the community. That's where it originated from. That's how it's supposed to be ran. That's how it was originally sought out to do in the community.
How'd it get corrupted? Just
drugs. Money, greed,
drugs, the cracking,
money, greed, the color.
How bad was that when that hit in the 80s?
So like I had two aunts that actually like was hooked on that. You get what I'm saying?
So
addicts, but they were functioning addicts. You get what I'm saying? So that was heavy in a lot of people's families, and it was normal because you got the addicts, but you got the drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? And drug dealing today ain't even like how it was back in the day. You get what I'm saying? So from that standpoint, that was it. It's either you was serving it or taking it or both. Which is wild. But,
when you're there, like growing up, how much pressure is there to join a gang? Like if you were to scale it up from 0 to 10, are they constantly harping you got to join this gang? Are they like beating you up or anything like that? Because, you have to remember something. The way I was programmed, the way I grew up on my side, I'm going based off movies. I'm going based off, now granted, I did some stupid things. I've been places that I should not have been, maybe purchasing dime bags in Patterson and like stupid stuff like that. And then looking at it and being like, all right, I'm not in the right place right now. You could feel there's an energy to that. It gets dense and the people look more serious.
Yeah.
Like that. That's what was my experience. And I was pretty scared. Like at one point there was people hanging out in the corner. I'm not used to that. I wasn't. So for me, just for anybody that may not have an understanding of that.
I mean, it's
is it like, are they all over you 0 to 10?
So
how much pressure from the gangs?
It kind of depends on somebody's story, right? So everybody, you gotta think like weakness is still a thing to those that are strong. Like they prey on that. You get what I'm saying? So if you have anybody of power, right, that needs to stay in power, they're going to abuse that power and recruit. Everybody recruits for anything, whether it's a job, college, football team, somebody's going to recruit. It does not change just because now you're in a civil situation. So if you have somebody that's in a group that's powerful, that's looking to do something, they're going to recruit younger people so that they can become more powerful than the other rivals. So based off of that, you're now looking throughout the community and it's like, you know what, we're going to get that one. And if you're even more influential and more of a leader, you're more of a target because that means that now you can get other people and people listen to you.
So they want you on the...
Exactly.
Like, I would think it would be the weakest link, but that's interesting.
It's both.
It's both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it depends on the mind of the OG or like the big...
But it's a fear-based control. Fear-based control system.
All of it is fear.
Yeah, because if you're going to recruit for something, you're going in, but you're intimidated. You're going by intimidation.
All of it is a mixture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that being in itself though, it's like to me it's just sin, right? It's literally a bunch of people who are like functioning from this.
Before we go into the spiritual though, because I know how your mind works, Jayvon, like go into the brass tacks of the community there, and then I want to go into my community with it. You know what I mean? Like, so your experiences for you, did you have pressure from gangs yourself, and how did you respond to it if you did? Because Mark, you had said that you avoided it, so I'm just curious, like, what was your experience?
But like it, so all right, so put it like this: the reason I have to go to a different angle is because white people think that like the question in itself is a victimized question. Because what you're saying is, man, they just had it so hard, man. They just this, they just that.
Yeah,
when there's literally people in there that got PhDs, that became doctors. So it's like you're starting off already
so it's
from a low point of view.
So it's an assumption.
You get what I'm, yeah.
Because, I'll say, from my point of view, right, someone in the suburb, and just my experience, I grew up going to Parsippany Hills High School.
Yeah.
And there was every race. So it was a melting pot. A lot of, like I had a Firebird. I don't mean to brag, Jayvon. Yeah, that's right. I had a Firebird. It was dark green. I was the boss. I had a leather jacket. I was the man. I was like 20 or whatever. Like and the people that worked at and would let me in the movie theaters. I had a leather jacket. I had a white tee. I listened to Ozzy Osbourne all the time and smoked weed. Wild. Yeah, it's crazy. But something like that where if I would go to the movies, there'd be Indian. Vipul Patel was somebody that was a friend, and I stayed over a night and ate dinner at George Throckmorton, who was a friend of mine. He was black. So there was a wide variety of different races. I was never raised, and my friends are not like that. It's that we're distant from it.
Yeah.
We don't understand. There's definitely racism out. And I just want to say this whole show is not to downplay that. However, I think that sometimes it could be used in the media and other places as a divisive tactic purposely. But this is just proof that it's untrue to a certain extent. Yeah. Yes, you'll have your bad apples here and there, but it is a promotion, a divisive promotion. And this just shows that the wave principles do work, and we're all connected in the spirit. And people like you, Jayvon, is a perfect testament to that. And Mark, our friendship. I love Mark. Yeah, I want nothing to do but see successful. His race does not make one bit of difference to me at all. And I think it's so mature. Honestly, if you're legit somebody who's racist, you're an idiot. And you haven't grown properly. But for you guys, just to give people an idea, did you have a gun drawn on you or anything? Or were you hit the raw, anything like that?
Like before I got to that point, we started talking about running in the streets.
They would go after you. I would go after you to recruit you.
I would go after me too.
Yeah.
Right, me too. I would go after me too. I done had people come after me. I done had so many guns pointed to my head. It's
wrong time.
I can't count. To be honest,
what's that like? You must be beside yourself. That must be a distant experience.
Yeah, I've had both sides literally try to recruit me. Literally.
Damn.
Boom. I've been somewhat initiated, so to speak, to be in one because I was been physically assaulted and physically this, that, and the third. So it's physically, I've been physically, you know what I'm saying, as they say, jumped in.
Yeah.
Basically. Without actually joining.
So involuntarily.
Hoping that you're a fool.
Basically.
I'm sorry that happened. And I gotta say, and I'm just want to shoot this out to both of you guys. You guys are friends, more than friends. I really appreciate, and Jayvon, with the way we get after it, brainstorming everything. You're somebody who's really important to me. I'm really impressed how you guys got out of that. And Mark, that makes me just really respect you that much more. And I know that my social programming will tend to lean towards with the low points. Jayvon, you mentioned before, what are some of the high points? What are the people that get out? Talk about the PhDs, the people that are serving the community. Sky was a great guest. Sky, we met when we were doing the Unity for Community, when we partnered with Be the Change New Jersey.
Yeah.
Great episode, the highest energy. I was smiling. If you look at that episode, I forget what number it is. I don't know if you remember, Mark. I was smiling the whole time. She just exuded the first principle Mark and I are really pushing the community, which is working with Heather and Jose of Wave Makers, radiate positivity. So that's what we're focused on. We're going step by step. It's why we're seeing this thing through and we're able to do what we're doing with the Wave story. So that was what she was doing. And I was any judgments I've ever had my entire life within 3 years, I've just shattered apart. They don't exist. I mean, it's the person. Path is to the person.
I'm always going. Me and black people always combating because it's just I don't agree with none of my culture of today at all. I hate it. I don't even associate with it. You get what I'm saying? Because the culture, the black culture that I love is what my grandfather grew up in. You get what I'm saying? Where in the same community you see today is where he started his small business. There were more small businesses when there was more racism than it is than less racism that we have in our community today. And it's no businesses. So look at that, right?
Yeah,
so,
and I'm thinking of right now, I thought of just my stepdad, Ralph, right? And I loved him. He was just my dad, so I used step loosely. And the Temptations, the music, and how wholesome and, soulful and how clean it used to be. It was a different time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was unity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody was doing the blame game. Nobody was playing victim. They was going to work. Like, they took advantage of the opportunities that they had, and they respected their communities and they respected their homes. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were a father to their children, and they were a father to those that were out in the community. And I remember, like, just growing up seeing that, where it's like, if you was on one street, if you grew up on one street, it was like your mother said, don't pass that stop sign. But everybody on that street knew each other, and the families knew each other. You know what I'm saying? Now, today, it's like, I don't care if I grew up with you, like, I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
Like, that's
I can't imagine. I can't relate.
The moment you disrespect me, if I feel like I want to do something to you, I'm going to do something to you, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. And that's why you can't say it's spiritual. That's a spiritual thing, bro.
How did Satan get in there?
Through disunity, drugs. You got music. Music is always a thing. Sex, like and fatherlessness. So when you're looking at the book of Malachi, it talks about an orphan spirit, right? The orphan spirit is rampant. Was rampant, I would say, because we definitely, it's a lot of fathers. I am one, right? That cater to their children. But the orphan spirit attacks the impoverished neighborhoods. And now when you have a bunch of children growing up with no leadership, they don't even know the tone of a man and the way that sets the house in order. All of that is gone, and now you look for that outside.
You know what I would do if I was the devil?
What?
Discourage men, make sure I put out toxic masculinity, and I would also make them ashamed of being in a regular family.
Well, welcome to the Sons of Today.
Right.
There you go. And that's not just black.
Right.
Every man getting hit with that right now.
Yep.
So we have things in
It's
common.
way beyond.
We have things in common. I mean, we're all getting it from that angle. We all struggle. We all have pain. We bleed red. We eat food. We, take a piss or whatever. I see it from a level now. The more I interact in the community, the more this thing grows. It's like I see through it. It's bull. It's never, the path is to the person. It was the whole time. It's inside out. Coffee Bean Damon West, who I respect very much, is out there hustling.
There you go.
Shout out, Damon. I really appreciate you being kind enough to respond to me sometimes. I know that you're busy, so I just want to thank Amy Kelly. MEP Kelly has been a big influence on me. She's a beautiful person. And you, Grow Girl, what you're doing in the space with women is admirable. And Julie Nee, John Gordon, I'll never stop knocking on the door, man. The wave's coming, and it's bringing a pulse and an opening directly to the streets for servant leadership. And we're coming.
See, another thing with racism is, like, honestly, growing up, I was always afraid of my own kind than anybody else.
See, there you
always.
go right there.
Always. I was always afraid of my own people.
That's sad, Mark.
Versus
I'm sorry
anybody
that happened to you.
Because in my experience,
such a good guy too, man.
My own people were the ones who always
there you go
had an impact on my life. It was always my kind of people or my people who always either physically put their hands on me, verbally abused me, mentally abused me. It was always, so me having feeling towards other races and other nationalities and things like that, why would I? When it's my own people that's doing it.
See, you gotta stop
that
right
was
there,
pretty
bro.
deep.
Because That's the truth. The truth is, you would think black people is looking at other races like, oh man.
Come on, don't act like you don't make fun of white people for eating cheese sandwiches and acting like, hello.
I don't care.
I'm just kidding.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm just joking.
That stuff don't even matter to me to the extent of, like,
at least I laugh.
You got to be real with this. Like, what Mark said is what I don't see no black people with influence saying on none of their podcasts. Why is it that black people feel safer going to a Target in a white neighborhood in the middle of the night at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock than I do walking to the corner store in my own block?
Right. And I think improvements that on our end, my end, that obviously I'm not speaking for everybody, but that we could do is be a little bit more compassionate and empathetical and realize that we don't know everything. We have a very narrow scope because really we tend to put things in categories or boxes a lot. But it's much more gray. It's much more, it weaves and intersects. I mean, look at quantum mechanics. Look at things that when there's actual tangible studies of the way we operate in the universe, we're projection screens, essentially. It's coming from us, not at us. The world is coming from us, not at us. So we need to respect our self-care. And love there's an energy to it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark. When we're helping out Jose and Heather, brainstorming on ways that we could figure out how are we going to get, Heather got a job, how are we going to get her a job? Calling her on the phone before, hey, Heather, you're going to be great. Congratulations. You don't keep your head up. You're fine. Pumping them up. First principle. Radiate positivity, and it works. When I met Daryl, I fueled him with encouragement. Encouragement fuels the spirit. It's about time we stop being so transactional all the time. It's stupid, and we're gonna literally. I said this. It's out. I said it on the last show. I said it. The flood's coming, and the flood's AI, and it'll wipe humanity out, and it's because we're not following the top principle, which is love thy neighbor. So, think of your son, whoever right now is depressed in their room, thin as a nail, but you don't want to cause an issue or rock the boat. It's interesting because you guys are like in your neighborhood, you're redirecting your anger towards each other. We're not saying anything while people fall apart. Love tough. Cut it out. Bullshit. I'm sick of it, Jayvon, really. Like,
I'm tired of it too. This is my thing, man, is that
my spirit just wants to leap out of this thing.
I don't even want white people to feel some type of way about, y'all done did all that you can do.
I didn't do it. That I know of.
No, I'm talking about if we're looking at this from a race standpoint. Watch this. What more do white people need to do in order for black people to feel some type of way? To feel grateful, to feel purposeful, to feel powerful.
Wait, say that again?
Let me just phrase it.
If you could rephrase that differently, it didn't register in my mind.
There's nothing more that white people can give black people to make them feel worthy.
I think that every person
besides
more,
this,
there's nothing
even if
more.
you give them this,
money,
human
needs is what we can give.
There's nothing more.
No, we can do better.
No,
everybody can do better as a whole.
You've done all that you can do. There comes a point as a leader, and really hear this, bro, where I can no longer help you because I done gave you everything that I can give.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you deny it all, that means that you are not yourself is not working. So you're not working to better yourself. You keep looking to me to give you and feed you off of every emotion that you have.
I think everybody goes through that at some point where they're stubborn like
not
that.
the black race. The black race is still
all right, a young 22-year-old, my young self looking back. You know what I mean? Like, why don't they get to that stage of growth? There's something stunting the growth.
Because nobody's giving them the truth.
Okay.
The truth is, bro, white people don't owe you anything.
That's really raw, man. And that actually, I've never heard anybody put it that way, Jayvon, and you're right.
That's the
truth.
Right.
He's right. It is the truth.
We're
What do you think about that, Mark?
Give us something.
This is real truth. This is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's right. Within the last what I would say 100 years, the white people, you know, we as a black people criticize white people because we felt, so a lot of us feel as though, first one, looking back at history,
Mm-hmm.
as, you know, the racist pandemic, you know, started from way back whenever. From that point on, it was like, oh, white versus black, or black versus every other nationality on the planet.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just the two main, white and black, that's at the top of the conversation all the time. And then it's like, okay, like Jayvon said, I agree with him to that, because I look at it as, okay,
I can come back to you if you want to collect your thoughts.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So it was, I think it was brought up on a previous episode. Do you think it does stem back to tribalism and coming over here, being sent, you know, not by your own fruition? And I mean, African-American from Africa, brought over, not having an understanding identity where you guys are from, right? And not knowing what tribe or where they're from. And then there's a natural spirit of infighting because that was already taken over there. And because it's one, like I could look at and be like, my grandmother on my mother's side is Irish, Catholic. There's a documentation. I know where I'm from. I could look it up. So like for somebody that doesn't know where they stem from, do you think that plays a part in the chaos within the community, like just not knowing, just the gauge?
It plays a huge part when it comes to dignity when you're in the presence of other races. But when you're in the presence of your, like, think about this. American, like, blacks, right? We are our own culture. There's no other, bro, we are the richest, I would say, colored black people on the face of this earth right now. When you look at black people collectively as a whole, we're more wealthier than the black people around the world collectively because we live in America. Even if we're on Section 8 welfare, whatever the case may be, you're still more wealthier. And this is what I'm saying. The black people have this view of westernized culture that they're basing everything off, and this whole world is around you, and you don't even know you're more successful than a lot of black people that is on the face of this earth. So when I'm looking at that from that perspective, you're literally talking about a people who choose to stay, watch this, to stay in a place where they never even lived. And this is what I mean by that. They're picking on, they're taking a trauma that happened in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, and you're bringing that in the 2000s as if that is happening. When was the last time a group of white men came to the city of Newark and started beating up black people? When was the last time you went to the back of the restaurant to get your order that you ordered from any restaurant, and they told you that you had to go to the back?
Yeah.
None of that is happening. So to say that racist, oh, this white people, you're lying. It does not. The fact that we're sitting here right now, by the time I leave, I should be hung on the tree.
Speak to the camera when you're doing it, because you're not speaking to me, man. You're speaking to somebody else.
I always forget about this camera. Yeah. But the fact that I'm sitting here with majority of white people in this building right now, by the time I walk outside, there should be a mob of white people talking about, why are you in my neighborhood, and I should be hung from a tree right now. That's racism. But I can go outside, go to Smashburger right now, and a white person will serve me with the same dignity that a white person coming behind me that's waiting for me to finish my order, and they're going to get the same treatment that I just got. That's not racism. It's a lie, bro. Are there racist people? Absolutely. But we do not live in this racism that people think we do, because we have capitalized on every opportunity that every white person has. Whether you want to talk about in the home, whether you want to talk about in business, or whether you want to talk about the White House, we're in every single opportunity that a white person has.
Very true.
Even now, so more than ever. Because back then, we wasn't able to get what they have or even remotely close. We were denied everything. But now in this modern day and age, we have the tools and we have certain things in place that's out there for us. But if you don't want to utilize it and certain things, you're not going to get it. Sure, and then if we're black, if our black race is going to constantly battle each other ourselves, we're never going to get nowhere. It has to start with us. We're like, oh, well, why they, why are all the other races doing this and doing that? Why not?
Literally.
If anybody, when I'm walking down the street, like with Mark, I never have a problem. Like, I'm cool with everybody. And it's that soft approach and the principles is coming up. But like, hey, how you doing? Nobody once, right, has ever, who is black, disrespected me. Everybody's shaking my hands. Whether they're talking crap behind my back, I don't care. That makes no difference to me at all. So
I want to know why, Jeff?
I think it's a common because there's respect.
Because you're not their enemy. I can't walk down the street of my hood, 18th Avenue, Avon, whatever, Bergen Street, and be like, yo, what's up? I can't even look at you unless it's a spirit of a threat. Why are you talking to me? Why are you approaching me like that? You're not the enemy.
Yeah, I feel your passion, Jayvon.
I understand. What I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
The black person, the people who look like them is the enemy. That's the problem.
But if anybody,
I can't even go to my town where I grew up right now to this day in Newark and walk down there like.
Isn't it weird? Like,
I can't even walk downtown, the street in Newark right now if I wanted to. Why? Because my own people would be the first ones to come at me. My own people would be the first ones to pull out something or see me walking down the street. My own people would be the first ones to pull out something ready to unalive.
That's it.
My own people would be the first ones ready to rob me, take everything I own, take all the clothes I got off my body. My own people would do that, not you.
Now, if I ask how many
why would
black
I be
people
mad
in
at
the
you?
hood, right, Mark? If I ask any black people in the hood right now, when you went to a white neighborhood, how many white people robbed you? But white people got countless stories of going to a black neighborhood, getting killed, and getting robbed.
And as this grows, if anybody respects like the show or anybody I've met in the community who's black, they, I just a little bit of advice, and this goes for every person, like that life of me versus them enclosed and that fear and paranoia, not expressing yourself or not trying to change your environment, even little things. It's called the 1% rule. So if I wasn't doing push-ups at all and I'm like, I'm not gonna do push-ups, whatever, even if I just did one, that's more than I did yesterday. And then say the next day I did 2, or maybe I wait a few days and then I did 2. And 3 later. Next thing you know, you've built a solid habit, long-term, and you get to the, what is it? Like, to build a habit, 52 or 30 something. I knew that a long time ago. It was like a certain 32 days or something to build a habit. There's a science behind it.
30 days, I think it is.
Yeah, something like, I think it's 32. Whatever it is. It's like, there's like a 2, I think. I don't know why I'm being particular at this 2 right now. How dare you? How dare you say there's not a 2, Jayvon? Anyway, whatever, but like it's do something, and it doesn't matter. You could be in the depths of hell and you could just do one thing in your mind. I say call out to Jesus. That'll be the best thing to do when you're there. But the best thing, or just to like change your environment by being kind and using one of the principles at least. Because think about it, like you could open up, if Mark right now, he's a laid back guy, has well-respected community. Principles hit, he goes, they see a change in him. He starts to exude more positivity. It's about empowering the community from the inside out. Give them the tools of Wavemaker to be able to do it themselves. Once Wavemaker, when we're doing this, the mentorship program, we're going to replicate it, duplicate it for Heather and Jose so they can do it. We're going to replicate it, duplicate it so the next person can do it. And there's going to be one person that starts, eyes are not off. Every day, that's that person's job. fill out the paperwork, walk them through this, go to them with this, health first, whatever it is, until you're in the clear. Housing, call on behalf, cold call. That's their job every day to get them out. And then that's going to expand right to the campus. Because what's going on just isn't working. And, you know, what true change happens in this country was built on was the people. You know, and I think that it's important. I think it's important to realize that you're going to pay a price for that. And
that's it, bro.
Yeah, it's a significant one, man. How do you, bro? I'm so, you know what I'm afraid of?
No.
As we're pursuing this thing, taking as many spirits to heaven, that I won't see all my people there when I get there.
I promise you'll be okay. But you do the work now. Because Jesus feels the same way. You know how many times he probably cries every single day because he just couldn't save that? You know what I'm saying? It's because it's a choice. I cannot force you into my love. This is why I'm saying
you have to want it.
You have to want this. And if you don't want it, you are your own destruction. And that's the beauty of Jesus. He said, I have come so that you may have life and have it more abundantly, which means the opposite of that is he's coming into a place where people were spiritually dead. So if you don't want it, I may cry. It may feel bad, but it's like, bro, I can't. If I keep trying to save those who don't want to come, I'm going to die. And I'm not about to die for nobody who don't want to live themselves. That's just the honest truth.
Yeah.
So this is why I say the change is always with Christ. It's not more policies. It's not another black person or white person creating something to infiltrate it. It has to go beyond this world. It doesn't work with just two people. Hey, we need this. No.
And you know, where do you start? Okay. Hungry, tired, and your state is low. Just do something you normally wouldn't do. An act of kindness. That's it. Small. Buy somebody a cup of coffee with your last $2. Just do that. Start there.
Yeah.
Get back to community.
Right. But then it's like, if you want to put like then if we talk about like racism and everything, with that is like, okay, look at our race, look at every other race around the world. You know, look at the race and their culture, how they do things in their culture, how we do things in our culture. We may have similar motivational and
similar qualities,
similar spiritual
connections,
outlooks, and as connections. But at the end of the day, we're still our own individual. We're still our own. You know, we stick to our own. We still stick to our own culture and what our own beliefs of what things are supposed to be.
Right.
That's that.
And everybody's unique, and it's amazing. The journey. There's no such thing as stupid because somebody's smart in something that you're not. And also, too, you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. So if you're surrounding yourself with pieces of crap who are complaining, change your surroundings. Too. If you want to be something, you said this actually way back. You know, you want to be something, go to the cafe in that other neighborhood. Be in front of the, you know, I'm never going to be the best. I want to be in a room with Damon. Like I want to be and get John's ear. Like you always have to, you just have to take action. Just act. You know, the most successful people that you see are not the brightest people. They make moves. They're hustlers. They just do. And that's how you learn. Your brain starts to change. And when you top it off, the icing on the cake, with a servant mindset, and you genuinely get to know somebody and they tell you their story and they're comfortable with you, man, forget money, forget drugs, forget anything, dude. That's what I'm working towards every day. That's what Ride the Wave is. That's what the path to person is.
Yeah.
I can't get enough. I just like,
See,
that's
the
man.
beauty of people. Like, you have to have
it's pure.
a worldview that, and this is why I love being the son of God in his kingdom, because it says that everyone was made in his image, in his likeness. Which means I don't even care if you don't believe in Jesus. I still have to treat you like an image bearer.
Yeah.
Because that's how you were made. You came from a place. You get what I'm saying? So when you come from that, right, that in and itself should let you know, when you come from a certain place, right, we all come from the same creator. Satan ain't create nobody, right? That's just the honest truth. So I still have to treat you the way that you were made. And that only happens through the Christian worldview. And this is why I'm saying it's only Christ, because he came and said, yes, we love our neighbors as ourselves. But Jesus said, I give you a new command. Love your neighbor as I have loved you. Now, what does that mean? That means that it doesn't matter how I feel right now. I still have to love you with the standard that Christ did. That's a death.
Now, I have a question, just as a country, as a community, are we following that principle? And my other question is, if we were to, what do you think would happen?
He'll come back.
On like a scale that is like a little bit common at the same time. All at the same time.
I got an even better
question. Kind of like riots, but seed plant.
I got a better question. What beliefs and what morals and values that you feel in your life with your experiences, no matter what your race is, no matter where you come from, your nationality, what principles in your life that you feel like you can add to your life or someone else's to make your life better first, to make someone else's life better as well.
Yeah, good job, Mark. And we want to hear from you. Hit us up in the chats. Let us know what your thoughts are on all this, like from a personal perspective, like where you're at, but also like, what are your thoughts on what Jayvon's saying? Do you agree? Because what he's saying from my point of view makes sense. And I think if you're, I don't know. I get that. I think individual responsibility, accountability, small things like that, there's nothing better than serving. So, but no matter what, even in the harshest environments, there could be I think it was Tupac, somebody like that told a story, or it was in one of his songs or his albums. Was that like, remember the White Album where he had glasses and it was like sort of like poetic? Something about, where I saw a video, it was definitely connected to Tupac Shakur. And it was the like hood or wherever it was at, and it was the gravel, and there was a rose that came right out the crack. Right at the crack, and like this dismal like gravel where it shouldn't have grown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's nature. It's beautiful. It's because it's going to be announced on a formal short. I do want to tell the audience, because if you've been following the show on shorts, NCK equipment has recovered. It's interesting to me. It's been the journey of my life, and I've learned a lot, man. Dude, I learned a lot. Blood, sweat, and tears. Kristen helping me sometimes to my room. Vision set, like all that. Working late nights, really trying to save it. And I realized that with persistence and good works, there's nothing you can accomplish. And the only times, this is me personally, I hope you get after it and are motivated, especially by Jayvon and what, Mark's wise words. For me, I was off faith. Like, God told me NCK was going to go through. And then there were times when I didn't believe it, I was off. That's when I was off. And I'll never, ever question my faith. Ever. And if you see it, that's where I'm off.
I got you.
Like that's the type of things that I think end up taking place when you start to open yourself up and maybe look into it. I got a question for you, right? You assume a lot. Really think about it. Open up your mind and think how much you really assume per day. You've been only given information bit by bit by other people. You don't even know them. You've never even met them. You haven't looked at the full thing. You haven't researched what the terms really mean. There might be a reason for it. So my advice is just to look under the hood, exploratory. What's the worst that could happen? It's a fantasy novel, whatever. Just explore. Life is a discovery. It could be fun. Like it doesn't have to be like this. It's like an Easter egg hunt. Levels. We were talking a bit before. What was it? The quantum leaps.
Yeah, quantum leaps.
Quantum leaps, man.
Mm-hmm.
You can get them inside.
Yeah. But it only happens through movement.
Right. You got to do.
Can't do it sitting down.
It's doers. And you know what? If I was the devil, you know what I would do? Make it so people stand, play a lot of video games, eat junk food, and they don't realize who they are, Jayvon.
Focus. Distraction.
A lot of distractions, social media. How about them phones though? How about all the dopamine? How about when the alert goes off? Or how about those numb doom scrolls?
Yeah.
What do you think about those? Those
but it's
are great.
like is the problem advancement
pacifiers
in the human race, or is it just the person is just not disciplined? I would never blame something
sucked like the Matrix, like pacifiers.
Yeah, it is. I can't blame anything external if internal I'm all messed up. Going back to the blackness, you're blaming something external, but internal.
It is.
You're dead.
It's an internal game.
So that's the thing. I'll never blame this technology because this technology right here, I am using it for the benefit of growth. You know what I'm saying?
If you have a really nice car that you want to build up and make beautiful so other people could see it, right? Mm-hmm. And you're in terrible health. You're going to have a heart attack, you have diabetes, whatever. What would happen if you switched it to do it everything you can, your passion in your car, but build up yourself?
There you go.
And your health and self-care. What type of person would you be in 5 years if you stopped putting off the things you were putting off every single day on the to-do list that you've been bumping down all the goddamn time while everybody sits around and the world goes to shit?
Yep. That's it, bro. It's an internal revelation that people need to have. And it's like they're looking for change in all the wrong places.
Yeah, and it's not a black or white thing. It's a human thing.
That's it, bro.
Because it doesn't matter if you're black or white. Right? Like Michael Jackson. Come on. Super Bowl.
In the mirror, man. Listen.
Yeah. He was saying it. He knew. Because it doesn't.
I was about to ask a question, actually. What are some problems with racial and ethnic catalogs?
Like with some problems?
Categories, I'm sorry.
What you mean, like?
Judgments, you mean? How we categorize people?
Yeah, how people look at certain people and judge them?
Yeah,
based off their race?
Mm-hmm.
You said problems?
What are some problems with racial and ethnical categories? Ethnic categories.
So I think is what he means, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, is where you're saying how we compartmentalize or judgments towards each other. Like basically the separations between certain cultures.
Gotcha. Like basically how does somebody look at, like if I see a Mexican guy walking down, like how I automatically judge him, like put him in a category of.
Okay. So judgments basically like pre-programmed judgments we have of each other. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the problems.
You know what? Let's go over that. You know what? We're real. We're friends. What are some of the judgments in your community? Could I go mine?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Go ahead.
You guys like drinking Kool-Aid a lot.
I hated it. I'm an iced tea guy.
You are lazy.
Been working since slavery.
You I can't think right now. You would rob me if you're walking down and look a certain way. You're gonna take something that I own.
Probably would. That's truth.
You are not smart. You probably weren't educated if you're looking a certain way. Like, if people are walking by, and I'm sure it may happen, and Morristown's gotten super bougie. I don't even like going there. It's too much. It's like New York. But with Mark, it makes me wonder how much people that would be, because I was a different person. I can't even relate to myself 3 years ago. If I walked by Mark, it wouldn't be that I would judge him, but I just wouldn't even, he wouldn't even be in my wheelhouse, really.
Yeah.
But him, I would be like, does he still sell drugs? Is he a drug dealer, like walking around, stuff like that? That would be my perception if I thought. But usually I'm so like, going. I'm usually go, go, go. I don't really think like that. And I'm not, I know my mom is a beautiful person. We were never raised prejudice at all. Yeah. Nothing like that. You know what I mean? So like, what about you guys on white people? What are the same kind of quirks or like stuff like that? Like how just like how I did that, what's your view?
Believe it or not, bro.
Or Mark. No, I'm saying just from like somebody that may think about us.
But like, this is what I'm saying. So like, Black people and Black community only equivalent the white category when it comes to cops. Everything is based off the law.
So they think that I would, if I was walking around your neighborhood, I'd be a cop automatically, or I'd be searching for things that,
Possibly because we got jump out boys, we got DEA, right? We got task force that look a certain way to get them. So those who've been in the streets can already identify, all right, that's a cop. But then that may not be a cop. That's just a dude just walking to, he around the block, whatever, going to a store. So like Black people not really looking at white people like that if they not arresting them, if they're not planning to stake out and do anything. Like they don't care. You get what I'm saying? But for those people that are looking for something, they hungry, they trying to do something, they on demon time, you're a target now because you're vulnerable. So because you don't even have like this why my thing goes beyond the Black and white. When a man doesn't even have the awareness of his environment, you are already a target. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not even dangerous. You don't even know where you're at. You're just saying, oh well, So I would think like white people think they're good everywhere, which is their biggest fault.
We do think we're protected.
It's like, bro, that's how you die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I must say that it was forged through a lot of sacrifice from my family that came over. And really forged, isn't that the point? Aren't we supposed to forge pain through pain and make it better for our kids? So why can't, also too, like why are you blaming white people if they perfected the game like that? Like also at the same time, it's like, why not try to emulate a lifestyle that's really good? There's that aspect too on the flip side of it didn't just happen, Jayvon, or anybody out there. Like I have an old chest right by the bed. Or no, it's stored at my cousin's house right now, but I want to like keep it in the family. And it's this huge chest. It must have been so difficult. And my family came from Ireland. Jose's episode that launched, was out there. That was something else, man. I mean, he was taken by dolphins. His boat capsized, 20-foot boat in the middle of the ocean. How awful do you think that was? You're so blessed. You have everything under the sun and you complain about everything. Honestly, you should be ashamed of yourself when you look in the mirror. You know what I mean? The struggles I see, when I had Heather and Jose out in a hotel, right? With bags out all over the place because they got kicked out. Nobody giving them guidance. Nobody even has a transportation for free. Here you go, here's an Uber. No compassion, nothing. We did not build this country on that. We are not racist here. It's ridiculous. I hate it, Jayvon. I hate evil so much with a passion.
See, but that's the problem. The problem is never black or white. That's just a skin color. It's sin and evil.
Hold me back, bro.
It's sin and evil, bro. That's the game that we're playing that many people just don't want to acknowledge. It's sin and evil.
It's not race. It's about that.
Doesn't matter how many police you have, how many policies you make. Sin is sin, bro. And it's more powerful than any policy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good way to leave it off, Jayvon, I think.
That's it.
Hey, I really respect you I appreciate your friendship. You've guided me spiritually, just also business-wise a little bit, like among other things. I think you're a real talented person. This is only the beginning. And this platform is gonna shoot off. And now that I don't have NCK, the burden of putting out fires weighing me down, I'm never gonna stop. Like I said, Mr. Gordon, Mr. Maxwell, Ed, I really respect and admire your work. And, I'm just going to keep pushing forward. And I want to thank all the audiences. Please let us hear from you. We really want to hear. We appreciate the pathos of the person. Go to Stories, root for Heather and Jose. Please, you guys, we really appreciate it. Take care. Thanks for riding the wave. Peace. Bye, everybody.
Next time.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to Ride the Wave. It's been a pleasure having you with us as we explore ways to make a positive impact together. Remember, every little wave creates a ripple of change. We appreciate any support you can provide as we plan to build an all-inclusive, modern campus and empower communities. For details on how you can contribute through various platforms, please visit us at ridethewave.org. Until next time, keep riding the wave of change with us. I'm Jeff Fischer, signing off, but the journey continues.